forgot I gotta put no. Server's still down. Alright. So which one's the green dot? I'm looking at the list. The map. It's so bad when I gotta look at green dots. Oh, I see it now. Okay. So. There should be one like going this way. I hate being colorblind, babe.
Really?
Beamer was like, "You're the green dot." I never noticed there was a green dot, man.
I'd be like, that'd been helpful if I could see it.
I know, right? Well, maybe the green dot didn't look like the rest of the dots.
You know what I wish they could do? I wish you could change the colors of things, especially for people that are colorblind.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
We should invent that.
We probably just need to invent our own video game.
Are you live streaming?
Yeah. I'm not sure how well live stream will work right now because the internet's being slightly slow. Like if the servers come back up.
Wait, you said you are or not?
I am. Okay. But if the servers come back up, I don't know how well it's gonna work.
Actually, at this very moment.
Yeah, I am. But the servers aren't up, so it's all single player offline.
I was gonna show you. This is what we need to eventually invest for you. Because watch how your lighting's about to look.
Well, it doesn't look too bad right now.
But just wait. This is how everybody
And this
gets.
room doesn't look bad with the backdrop, so.
But see, I have the whole gear. Like, I have this, and I have two box lights.
You got all the good stuff. Oh my gosh, pulling up the ring light.
Watch how your view's about to look.
I don't see it.
Oh, okay, got it.
Just kidding. Yeah, babe. Oh yeah, that's pretty sweet. I don't know if I like the brightness of that light in my face though. Babe,
you can tone it down.
I mean, grab me some sunglasses and I'll be alright.
So you can tone it down. I have it on.
Yeah, that's a little better, but I mean, just give me some sunglasses and that'll work perfect.
But you see how it brightens it up?
Ooh, I could use the colorblind sunglasses while I have that. Hey, Effie, get off my leg, dog.
But yeah, I have 2 box lights as well. So this would be the centerpiece, and then you have your box light.
Alright, babe. Cool story right now. Love you. No, seriously. I really want to get me like a sword. Come on. I want to learn some like awesome kicks. I heard there's like all types of like kick builds and stuff. Bemo's already like level 30. He's been playing all day long. He's been at Patrick's. Patrick's been playing on PC with Jennifer. I think I'm... Nah. Is this a boss? I wish I tried that parry instead of the dodge class. Man.
Are you gonna eat this? James.
Huh?
Are you gonna eat this popcorn?
You put popcorn in the fridge?
That was a little weird. Because you don't put it in the fridge.
Ooh. What's up? Servers are still down, can't be online. Later on, when we got into servers, I'll be with a group of people and I'll be knocking this out real quick.
What are you doing?
Have you heard of this website? You can watch all of them for free. And it's dubbed. You can watch dubbed or
I'm
subbed.
watching like funny.
Yeah, but anyways, my friend introduced me to this watch cartoon.io. Watch cartoon.
Yeah, that's what I'm watching.
Cartoon.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Get some.
There you go. And you can pick like these photos. You can choose dubbed anime. And you can watch like any cartoon stuff. And like movies, like it has Angel Beats, which is really good. So I think that I'm trying out watching on it.
It's gonna be a read.
Yep.
Get that. I swear, on World of Warcraft, they were showing up on computers.
Maybe was it one on one?
No, like not just that, but World of Warcraft showdown up here.
Probably because you play video games or watch games, like online games and stuff.
I actually one time downloaded World of Warcraft until
I used to make money playing World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Stop
That's
paying
how you pay
for
for
it.
your first apartment?
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. I was bookmarked on it. I'll watch one more.
I have a device.
Because I have my eyes not here. I'm about to take it.
This is cool.
She's alright, ain't she? Hey, babe. Don't turn around like you're gonna beat somebody up. Hey,
No, I was just standing here. I didn't even turn around.
give me that rest of that jacket, babe. Thanks, babe. I love you. Yeah. Alright, let's see where we are right now. Interact. Still, I'm right beside somebody, so I guess I missed somebody in that last area. Huh. I think the other one's the tower that I went past way earlier. Oh, I think that's the boss right there. Yep. The second marked one. These are laying some hints on this guy right here, right me. I need to be careful. I'm about to lose this one. Like, I was doing okay earlier, but it's like I took a break for half a day and I get used to it again. This game's not the easiest. Am I drinking that big cup?
No, you are.
I was wondering, is it mine drinking that big cup?
There you go. You can have that ice.
I'll show a save back. Ooh, that's a good idea. I'm gonna run out here. Got an idea. I need to block more so I can get more skills. Yeah, let's pick up this dagger and go mess this boss up. Like that's a little trick. Sitting on that thing to the left of me. To the left of me. If you don't mind. Thank you, I
Walking
love
in
you.
front of you.
It's all good. Jack and Coke through a straw.
It's, huh?
Yeah, Jack and Coke through a straw.
Okay. gotta keep it bougie. But yeah.
I'm falling. Oh my gosh. I just tapped one too many times. Fell in myself. Alright, let me see on there. Let's go this way and see where it leads. So what do you think about it, James?
Pretty good.
Totally different style than anything else.
Yeah. Is there any other monsters in here? Or is it just online play?
Right now I'm actually offline because the servers keep going down. They're in trouble because there is highly anticipated and it's that first one. So what the heck? Is this like the dude trying to deter me from getting that sword right there? I'm getting that sword, dog. Let me block some attacks, see what attacks this guy's got. No, he's gonna reset. I want a leg sweep. See, I want a bunch of leg sweeps and stuff. Oh no. He's a kicker. Get in your hole. Grab the sword or dagger, wherever it is yet. Is that the boss right there? I'm gonna kill this person first. I think that's the boss. Food. Yeah, figured that was the boss. Let me grab the dagger for a little extra help. Now let's handle the boss. Just run upstairs. Follow me up here. Oh no, don't follow me up here. I lied. Woo. Why I gotta fight multiple people now? Huh? This ain't right. Y'all can reset. Yeah, run back to your spots. No, or don't. Or don't run back to your spots. Man. Maybe I gotta run further away. The boss is blocking them.
They glitched them out.
Yeah, I glitched them somehow, didn't I? There's another one on the outside there. Oh, dang. I like to hurt the boss a little bit. Before I kill them, because I want them to give me help. Dang. Get my butt whooped. I messed this boss up. Ah! No! 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 Stay away! You're not my friend! No! This is stupid. What you want? Baby, I got it. Find him, babe. Hey, babe, sing me a song. Sing me a hood song. Sing me like some Mariah Carey. Nah, she's not hood. She's just lazy. Yeah, get in that hole.
I can't sing for you though because that's copyright.
No, sing for me something.
It's copyright. I can't.
You aren't gonna sing at the right pace.
It doesn't matter.
You'll be fine. Sing me your own song. Oh, damn it, I fell off again. I need a song, babe. Sing some Disney. They don't care about Disney. We boy. Sing me some Star Wars.
I don't know anything about Star Wars.
Maybe I don't even know how to sing that stuff. I don't remember Tangled that well.
You don't?
No,
This is my
sing it.
favorite song out of it.
Remind me.
Alright. Flower gleam and glow, let your power shine, make the clock reverse, bring back what once was mine. Heal what has been hurt, change the fate's design, save what has been lost, bring back what once was mine. That once was mine. That was it.
That's it?
Yeah, it's very short. Remember, she sang it when her stepmother would brush her hair.
Because her hair is tangled.
No.
Well, then what's the movie about?
Tangled, the stepmother became young through her hair. So if she ever
What?
cut her hair, then the
What? She
stepmother would
became
have-
young through her hair?
Yeah. That's why she would
Ridiculous.
brush it and it made her younger.
Oh
the
my
godmother.
gosh.
Because it was due to a flower that
A
her
flower?
godmother found.
A flower did it.
Yes.
Whoa. That's some crazy stuff.
And so every time she would sing the song, her hair would start glowing, and whoever was around, it healed people.
Effie likes your singing.
Oh, I know. She was trying to ruin it.
I know, she's getting all in your face.
This is another song I really like. It's by Frozen, though. It's from the. It's part of the song. Do you want to build a snowman?
Oh yeah.
It's okay. You know the part where they're sitting there between the door, and she's trying to get Elsa to come.
Yeah.
I mean
remember
Anna.
that.
Elsa. to come
I
out.
remember that. I remember that.
Okay. Please, I know you're in there. People asking where you've been. They say have courage, and I'm trying to. I'm right out here for you. Just let me in. We only have each other. Just you and me. What are we gonna do? Do you want to build a snowman?
Alright, I need something. I want you to keep them rolling. I'm jamming to it. Man, dude, this guy is being mad about me. I want all the kicks, man.
Okay, do you remember this song "We Are One" by in Lion King 2?
Maybe. I do like Lion King.
It's the second one though. The second one has some good songs.
Cause there ain't nothing like a Lion King. Cause the Truth Kings are no fun. Ha! 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 Ha!
Michael, are you kidding me?
Ha! Alright, what's up? I wanna hear it.
I don't even think the crickets make one. Okay,
crickets?
I don't know if I can sing this one properly, but it's by when Simba and Kiara are talking, and like she's not understanding everything. He's trying to explain everything to her. So it's as you go through life, you'll see there is so much that we don't understand. And the only thing we know is things don't always go the way we planned. But you'll see every day that we'll never turn away
remember that one. Why are they so short? I feel
No,
like I
I'm
remember
hold
them.
on. I took a break because I was reading. If there's so much I must be, can I still just be me? The way I am. Can I trust in my own heart, or am I just one part of some big plan? Even those who are gone are with us, and as we go on, your journey has only begun. Tears of pain, tears of joy, one thing nothing can destroy is our pride deep inside. We are one. We are one. We are like the earth and sky. One family under the sun. All the wisdom to lead, all the courage that you need. You will find when you see we are one.
Yeah, get it, baby.
Stop it.
He says, I want to sing with you.
Miguel and I are gonna go live for about 55 minutes on Instagram doing some of their music. Always watch them live to see what they sing. He wanted, when he lived here, he wanted me to be in his band and stuff, but it just never happened.
I was doing so good this time. I'm so good at Elder Scrolls, but
Jesus Christ!
learning a new game right now.
You're failing at that new game.
I don't know if it's proper if we're back here talking behind your live stream.
Man, I was watching some live streams earlier on PlayStation, and they like had all types of crap going on.
Oh, those are their toys.
Yeah, like loud music.
Give me some more Disney songs, anybody?
You know my favorite.
Which one? Oh.
A whole new
Do
world,
not sing.
a new fantastic point of view. No one to tell us no, or where to go. We say we're only dreaming.
Alright, I can do it. No. Alright, first of all, you did it wrong.
Alright.
I can show you the world.
Wait, that's my part, isn't it?
I'm not, no, we're not, it's all me. This is all me.
But we have
I'm a solo artist, I'm sorry.
Alright.
Shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? I can open your eyes. I hate this song. My voice doesn't do that range very well.
Shining, shimmering, splendid. Hey, get off of me. Alright, I'm getting so mad at her. Like, I don't know, like, I can't duck this person's kicks. They're going high and I'm clicking down, but it's like, I want the kicks. I want the kicks. That's exactly what I want. Here, just kill me. Just kill me, thing. No. You aren't gonna kill me.
Nobody was.
I know. So I need to put in some actual work to do stuff that I'm actually
You need to put
good
work
at.
on your guild and stuff online. So
No, my guild, dude, has a huge, like, we got a gigantic guild hall today.
I'm talking about Facebook. Dude.
I know. I fixed the Facebook page
You
today.
did finally.
Yeah, I fixed it. So, but no, the guild hall. We got this gigantic guild hall today, and my buddy's been on there working on it.
Hey, have I ever let you watch Zach Scott games?
I think so, yeah.
Him and his wife do duo. Like, they record, but they never record their face. And both of them are on headsets, and so his wife will just watch him play, and they'll both make commentary.
So, like, I should get rid of the headset, and we should do commentary. Here, let's try it out.
What do you mean headset? What?
Like, I mean, video. Get rid of video.
Oh, do what I'm talking about?
Alright. So what can we do as commentary for this person? I really think their apparel in this game is terrible.
What is apparel?
You don't know what apparel is?
Oh, wait, the outfits?
Yes.
Oh.
I'm like,
I haven't heard that term in a while, so.
I mean, didn't you used to work at a mall or
We
something?
didn't call it apparel.
Oh my gosh.
We called it outfits.
We sell outfits. We don't sell one item at a time. You have to buy the whole gosh darn thing.
No, it's called layering. There's a difference.
Layering?
Yeah. They teach you layering that it's to help the company sell more. So you're like, hey, you should check out this tank top. You know what great this tank top? This shirt. Oh, and why don't you put on a scarf and maybe a sweater vest in case you get cold.
Yeah, you're in Huntsville, Alabama, in case you get freezing and gosh darn cold.
Oh yeah, when that snow comes in.
Oh
Ice.
yeah. And everybody has to lay.
Wait, why does this person got their back towards you?
Oh, see, look, he switched stances. See, like, look. It's Disco Inferno. Woo!
Dance off.
Yeah, dance off. Come on. Look at this. Come on. What you want? What you want?
I like that
What
blocking
you want?
skills.
What you want? It's not even blocking. This
No,
is-
he was.
Oh, look at that. He didn't know. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to do. Look at those hands. Look at those hands. Look, I'm like a sorcerer. Except there's no spells. Yeah. You don't know what to do with these hands. Where's it coming from? I'm turning backwards, and it's coming in. Oh,
We
no.
should give him a name.
Who name?
Alfonso.
Alfonso? Who? Me or him?
Him. Dude, you just killed it. Well, it doesn't
Oh,
matter
I
anymore.
wonder if
He's
this
the
actually
beast.
works. Let's try this new strategy. Oh, no. Dang it. Slippery feet.
That was
Come
a
on.
nice.
Oh.
Ooh, it looks like you hit him in the nuts.
I know. That's what I was going for. I tried to grab him. It just doesn't work yet.
Fondling, I guess, isn't allowed.
No, they're just like, hey, there's not much there.
So is this like supposed to be like some like Merlin crap here?
No, it's martial arts. We're all like ninjas.
Well, now I'm talking about the
Stupid
sword
ass.
being in the middle of the thing.
Oh no, I wish. Excalibur! Give me might. I have the
No,
power.
wait, stop. You can't go in there. You know why?
I'm gonna lose again.
Because no, it's the headless horseman.
That's a headless horseman?
No, I'm just kidding.
Look at those
Do you remember
eyes.
that
No. What's
though?
that
In the headless horseman, at the barn, he wasn't allowed to like. There was like a bridge thing, and he wasn't allowed to come inside of it, like go through it. And they
Sounds
thought he
nice.
wasn't allowed to, but he ended up doing it, and he got in there and like decapitated somebody. that like in theaters when I was like 5.
Oh, he already broke my sword and everything. What the heck? Here, magic hand.
But we had Excalibur.
My Excalibur already got broke.
I know.
Ooh, yeah, Goose Brava. Hey, I said Goose Brava. We're doing anger management for you. Stop! No, I'm running. Where are you at? Oh, I jumped over your legs. Oh no.
That's a Kevin. We're naming that person Kevin.
No, Kevin's a mother tricker.
Kevin is a dick. That's why I call it Kevin.
Kevin, you are a no dick. You are an unsolid.
Yeah. Whoa, Kevin is like... Kevin's taking it.
I'm starting to hit Kevin. I think when I think of him as Kevin, I can actually hurt him.
I think Grace had made it.
No!
Oh!
No!
Oh! Oh!
I'm gonna lose again!
Oh!
He's got uppercuts and spinning kicks. I don't have any of that.
0 deaths. 0 deaths.
No, I'm far past 0.
0 deaths. Stop! Why are you licking my butt? Weirdo!
James! No, just kidding.
Did I do?
Never mind. She's like trying to grab her tail and she just...
Wouldn't that be messed up if like our dog was like called like a name like James or like George? George! James! George Jefferson!
I did nothing.
I'm too old.
Who's George Jefferson?
Oh my god.
Do you know who George Jefferson is?
There used to be a TV show about flying cars and it was a cartoon and it's called The Jeffersons.
Oh! I only
Oh,
watched
that was the Jetsons! I called it Jeffersons, it was the Jetsons. The Jeffersons was moving on up to the east side.
No.
That
I was more
was
into
the Black
Ed, Ed,
family.
Eddie and like Rugrats and like Courage the Cowardly Dog. I didn't watch Flintstones. I didn't even like Scooby-Doo.
You said that.
Y'all
I
are so
dare not be
new.
Scooby-Doo.
I liked
Scooby-Doo.
I liked
Yeah.
a pup named Scooby-Doo, like where.
Oh, you like the kid version?
Yes.
I like the kid version too.
I just didn't like the old 70s version. Like it was just boring.
We are going to duel again and again until I finally beat you.
Pup named Scooby-Doo.
Woo! Ow!
Uh-oh.
Oh! No! Get back! Run away!
A vampire hunter just came in
Dude.
with a teacher.
Yeah.
Mascot.
Yeah.
I have a bad feeling about this. Why is your dog trying to swallow her tail?
She has a fascination with her tail, and you know, most dogs.
She gets so, like, she doesn't know what to do when she gets the tail.
Yeah, it's like she just lived her whole dream. Most dogs wish they could touch their tail, and she's able to accomplish this thing. And
She got a big old tail.
she does. It's only gonna get bigger. Their tails get like super fluffy. This girl just asked me. She said, "So, what do people do with Pinterest?"
You bend your interest. Oh, I won!
He finally
my
won.
gosh.
Out my eyes. Becky, look at that victory. I mean, like, those gains, they're so virtually huge. Oh, yes.
I thought that was a pop scoop for a second.
Oh, no! Digging through the turds to get my forest dweller gloves. I'm gonna come after you. You can't
For a
run
second,
from me.
that was the guy from Notre Dame. He came in the nowhere.
He looks like he's got. You shall not ring my bell.
What's his
My
name?
friends, the gargoyles, have now seen you. Oh, what was his name?
It starts with a Q.
Yeah, Quasimodo.
I almost called him Quincy.
What's up, Quentin?
I said Quincy, not Quincy.
I know. Quincy Jones was the.
That's what I was thinking of for some reason.
Quincy Jones was the saxophone player.
That's funny. I didn't even like know who that person was because no one came to my head. Oh, so you want to hear an embarrassing story today? So,
Oh my gosh.
I was making notes for work, and this person's name was Christian,
Great.
and I almost typed out Christian Grey. Could you imagine what the auditors would have thought?
His ops. Enemies consume more stamina for their actions during 15 seconds at nearby enemies. I don't know. I just don't know right now. Exhausting stamina would be pretty neat. Let me try it. I can open your eyes. Oh. I feel like we're in a Michael Jackson video. It's just like, Thriller, Thriller, let's get down tonight. Just beat it, beat it. Open up your something and beat it.
Billie Jean, not my lover.
I don't know why. Like I just think about Weird Al when I think about beat it. Hey, beat it, beat it. Just crack your egg and eat it.
I haven't remembered.
I won't eat it unless it's fries or rice. I don't think that's what he says in that, but I was just thinking about you. Yeah, you don't eat it unless it's fries or rice. Fall off. Yeah. Oh no, I fell off too.
Jasmine, I told her that I'm gonna get into cosplay and all this stuff. I was like, especially because you said that I would look like a good character to be one, you know, to do characters. And she goes, yeah, you do so. I can be like, I'm her entourage, like saying that she'd be my entourage. And I was like, haha, Dad. She goes, what? You're gonna need fans, so I'll start you off. She kills me.
Y'all's is funny.
I know. So I think since I really like creepypasta stuff, I think I'm gonna do videos.
Maybe we should tell a story right now.
Ooh, you mean pull up creepypastas?
We could tell a story like right now.
You know what we should?
I could talk like a creepypasta character. They talk like Forrest Gump.
No.
When I was
We need to
13 years old,
Stop.
there was a guy in my class named Greg. Greg was a mute fella.
Oh my gosh. No, but for real, one night we need to play this game. I used to do it all the time when I used to have summer parties. So basically, you have a person lay down, and you cut all the lights out, and you tell a scary story. And then in the story, you somehow make him get attacked, or bitten, or whatever, or scratched, whatever the case might be in the story. Well, when you cut on the lights, I can't remember how it works out. Either if you lay on your stomach or lay on your back a certain way. Like if you lay on your back, I think it's the stuff will show up on your stomach. If you lay on your stomach, the stuff will show up on your back. But anyways, after the story's telling and say that, I say you get scratched. If you lift up your shirt, you'll have scratch marks on you. It is the creepiest thing ever, but it works 100%. I've done it so many times, and I don't know how it happens, but it happens. It's really cool, though. It's really fun.
I heard almost nothing about that, but
Okay, so when we used to have...
Oh, you can heal with those things? Oh my god!
We would tell scary stories. We'd have somebody lay down, and we would tell a scary story. And we would have a person attacked or bitten, whatever in the story. Well, when you would lift up their shirt, they would have, like, scratches or bite marks on them.
I'd have to punch somebody and be like, you did this to me. My
It's
body was impeccable.
It's incredible. But you don't feel it. Like, you don't feel it, and then also you lift up your shirt and you're like, where did this come from? And it's like, none of us touched you.
you were bitten by a werewolf, instantly became a
Just
werewolf.
cheap.
Yeah, I actually did one story about somebody being bit by a vampire, and they had, like, indentions in their neck. It was the creepiest crap ever.
Ooh, leather shoulder pads.
Okay, but here, let me pull up a creepypasta.
My name was Jeffy. I tried to ask this girl on a date one time when I was 14 years old. Her name was Stephanie.
Okay. All monsters are human. That's what the title is. You've always had a slightly ridiculous phobia of mirrors. It's never interfered with your life before, except in small and completely inconsequential ways. You close your eyes during a middle school session of Bloody Mary, would rush past them in a dark hallway. Things that you red-blooded American raised on a steady diet of horror and gore would call more habit than oddity. One night, late, you're getting ready to go out with some friends. You feel grimy. So you all decide to get ready at your apartment where you can clean up with your own products. Everyone's hanging out, taking pictures, and generally having fun as you decide to wash your makeup off and start fresh. You decide the quickest way to do this is the way they show in commercials, where you get all over with it at once by splashing water over your tightly shut eyes and completely soaking your bathroom floor. You glance up quickly to be sure that your friends don't notice your moment of hesitation when it's time to close your eyes and scrub them within sight of the mirror. As you rinse off your face, your eyes open to see your reflection staring back at you, which is not unusual. What is slightly off, however, is that when you go to leave, the other you does not. You stare at each other with wide eyes, waiting to see what happens next. You turn to your friends to see if they're seeing what you're seeing, to find their grins growing wider, too wide to be quite human. Their eyes turn as black as coal, and they start to walk forward. Your reflection and your friend's reflection start to scream. Your friends lunge forward towards their doppelgangers. You always know you were on the wrong side. As your eyes begin to burn in an entirely sick, pleasant way, your grin stretches wide, too wide.
I'm confused.
That was
What?
stupid. I didn't like that one.
God, you started us off with a stupid one. I don't know why you're fighting Rivario. Sheesh. Alright. Watch out. I got bought the secret dance hands. Thriller! Thriller! Oh, that worked. No! No, how is I'm dead? No. Don't kill me. Ha! Oh! I learned earthquake. What is earthquake?
Okay, this is called headlights. I hate driving at night, yet there I was, on the old black road, the only car around for miles. After driving for a while, I noticed a pair of flickering headlights in the rear view mirror. For some reason, they didn't illuminate the road. The lights just sort of sat there, glowing. Whenever I looked over my shoulder, they were gone. So I did what any normal person would do. I sped up, but to no avail. The lights were getting closer no matter how fast I went. Hoping to leave this road behind, I floored it and took one last glance. The lights were in my passenger seat, glaring at me. Before flipping my car, I was able to make out a face and twisted mouth to go with the headlights. I'll never forget that grin. The next day, someone found my car. They searched for me even though I was standing next to them in the entire time. Lots of time has passed since then, and even though I haven't driven in ages, I still hate driving at night. But there's one thing I hate more than driving at night: other people driving at night.
Why don't you do the usual creepypasta voice?
What's my usual?
The voice I do. Hi. There was a car driving at night.
No.
I wonder how to change this list stuff. Oh. Do I have to press up to equip those though? That's all I'm confused about.
Swords.
Okay, I found a website. It's called Creepypasta.
You
This
would've
is called
guessed that.
Andrew. I have changed all names except for my own to keep everyone anonymous. The year was probably 2012 when this started. I'm not totally sure, I guess. Before I started this, I will say that I never really remember what was said in conversations. I normally just remember what happened and that sort of thing. So my brother Hank and I were in 5th and 9th grade, respectively. I had started writing stories and making short films with him and some friends. We really did a lot of random things to try and pass time. We had to share a room anyway, so we would normally drag each other into doing whatever we felt like doing. We were both very art-oriented, and we were also very good at, like, anything art-based, which including drawing and making music too. But anyway, by the way, my name is Andrew, but my brother and older friends call me Drew. So anytime that you hear these two, they are probably talking about me. My brother had found this website that was all based on spells, curses, and other things that I saw as fairly creepy, to be honest. It looked sketchy as hell, too. There were GIFs playing on the sidebars, and the color scheme was a little too vibrant. You know how websites can seem like unofficial if it is too colorful? But he was my brother, best friend, and role model, so I went along with all his ideas and schemes and such. We lived in Ohio at the time, and it was around late fall/early winter. Now, this website had a list of various types of spells, and when he was showing it to me, I saw that there was a tab that said something along the lines of weather spells. Now, I thought this sounded interesting, so I took the bait. I opened it, and sure enough, one tab said spell for heavy snow. Let me tell you, it's every Ohioan's, I don't think that is a word, but I mean someone from Ohio, dream to get out of school for snow day. Up until recently, when they started giving out blizzard packets. But anyway, I tried saying the spell.
I already beat Mario. I don't need to beat you again. Away from me.
Flash forward about a couple of days. The spell hadn't worked, and we had received 0 ounces of snow. But before bed, Hank approached me with a new spell from the site. It was about creating a mental creature. This sounded very cool to me at the moment, so I did all the steps and made this monster. Now, when I was 4 or 5, I had a nightmare about this thing that came at me in slow motion. In the dream, I was standing in my hallway. All the bedroom doors were open, and instead of seeing the room, there was just a black void inside. But something emerged from the last door on the left, and I couldn't scream or move, which happens in my dreams a lot. I watched this terrifying thing come at me. I totally had the feeling like it wanted to kill me, though. And the dream was completely silent, too, which totally added to the eeriness. I also, around this time, developed a fear of, steps, and I still have this fear to the day. I had a nightmare that I was in my basement, and I heard this noise from the opposite side, but it was dark, so I couldn't really tell what it was. When I turned and ran up the steps, I heard something running up the steps behind me, and I could tell that it was moving faster than I was. At this point, I woke up. I feel like it makes it worse that you can't stop to turn around and see what it is, you know? To this day, walking up steps in the dark absolutely terrifies me, because I don't know if something is suddenly going to run up behind me and grab me or something. So I pretty much had developed a habit of sprinting up steps whenever it is new. Anyway, I had made a sort of monster, and Hank told me that I had to feed it every day using my own energy now. I definitely wasn't buying it though, honestly. Then Hank asked me what it looked like. I looked at him for a second, and instantly I felt as if the thing from my nightmare was being behind Hank, and it was staring at me. I got the biggest chills in my whole entire life at that moment, and it felt so real, like I could have sworn I could actually see it behind me, like it was staring at me. I can't explain how much I could actually feel its presence though. And then I just instantly looked at Hank and said, how do I kill it? I think Hank pretty much said that you rip up the paper you had to use to create it. At the time, Hank and I both had these cloth beds. They were pretty much just the big metal stands that hold your bed in the air. That way, we could put dressers beneath our beds, but that night, I had the feeling like this thing was still alive or like it was just hidden away. Like, tucked to the back of my bed, I swear though, I could feel it moving around on the floor beneath me or something. Flash forward a year or so, we had moved into a new house at a cemetery. Many nights were spent alone for me. Hank had found a new group of friends, and he spent more time away from home. Unfortunately for me, Hank had now discovered something called astral projection. And the way he explained it was that it's just like getting your spirit to leave your body. This sounded very interesting to me at the time, and we were both very eager to try it.
I did astral projection before, and that stuff is creepy, dude. I had one bad experience.
I don't believe in it.
No, I'm being serious.
I don't believe in doing stuff like that. I believe that's playing with fire. And testing God. And we still shared a room too, so we laid in our beds and got ready to try it. What Hank told me was to try and get up spiritually. It's a little hard to explain. You can look it up if it interests you. But anyway, I laid there for maybe 15 or so minutes before I hear Hank say my name. I said, "What?" I remember the following very vividly. Everything suddenly looked much colder. It had more desaturated blue tint. The walls in my room were very smooth and they really glowed. It's also a tad darker though. I just kind of looked around for a second and noticed there was an incredible amount of dust suspended in the air. I looked at Hank, who was standing in the middle of the room. I looked at him and said, "What in the hell is this?" I also then noticed that behind him was the window, which showed nothing but an empty black void. There was nowhere to go. He just looked around for a second, and then I don't know how to get back. I stood up and looked at the bed that I had been laying on, and I saw the sheets were still sunken in like I was still there. I don't know what to do. I stopped short because I thought I heard some like creaking sort of noise in the distance. I remember back when we first found the website of spells and such, I told my mom and she really threw a fit. She thought it was evil, I think. And the idea of astral projection was even worse to her. I never really understood why she said that. I realize now that she may have had a reason to say that. Maybe she had an encounter like me. She really never tells me much about her past. I will never know, I suppose. I can't even imagine bringing it up to her, though. I looked at him. "Did you hear that?" He said he heard nothing. I stood there silent, and then I heard it again. He looked at me and said, I heard that time. I said, "It sounded so far away, but there is like nothing out there." He suddenly looked very, very pale. I could feel my face warming up, which is something that happens when I get stressed or anxious, even to this day. When he heard the sound again, only this time, it lasted a bit longer. The volume wasn't changing, so we didn't think it was getting closer. Hank thought for a moment and then opened up his laptop. The screen was black. He tried turning it on and plugging it in, but it was so obvious that the electricity didn't exist, wherever we were at anyway. I have no idea what to do, Drew. "I don't know how to get back," Hank said. "Maybe Mom will come wake us up and that will pull us out or something. You think?" I said back to him, "I really didn't think that would work. I just want him to be calm. The noise had died off and stopped for a little while. Maybe 10 minutes passed of brainstorming ways to get out of the place. We thought maybe we'd jump out of the window, but we might just simply be lost in the void. Needless to say, neither of us had the courage to try. Suddenly we heard that same damn noise, and this one sounded much, much louder. It was at this very moment that I almost realized it wasn't creaking. It was screaming, like maybe 100 feet away. I opened my nightstand and saw my pocket knife. I pulled it out and quietly shut my drawer. I put it in my front pocket and caught Hank staring at me. I looked at him and I was totally displaying all my fears on my face. Just in case," I said. Just then we heard another scream. It still sounded like it was at least somewhat distant, but this scream was a little higher pitched. And to our horror, the scream lasted about 10 extra seconds before turning into a laugh. I looked at Hank and almost immediately my vision began swirling. I had to hold on to a dresser to keep myself upright. Tears were building up in both of our eyes at this point. We were far too scared to go down to the first floor of our house. We shut our bedroom door and slid a dresser in front of it, in order to keep whatever that thing was out. I thought I heard some sort of pitter-patter or like rustling. I walked over to the window and looked out. There it was. It was a dog. It had no eyes, and it had no ears. It had very greasy, matted brown hair. Its face was pointed at me, though, and it was smiling. It had the teeth and mouth of a human, sort of. Dogs can't smile. I know that. But this dog had the biggest grin on its face, and there was blood and skin dangling from its teeth. I then watched in pure shock and horror as it opened its mouth and said, "Hello, Andrew. Can you let me in?" It had the voice of a human, but it was very raspy and incredibly damaged. "Andrew, what have I ever done to you, buddy?" it said. I literally looked shook and got chills from this. I backed away from the window so it couldn't see me. I wasn't going to let it in. After a few moments of silence, the dog began then to chuckle, which had turned it into an all-night laugh. All-out laugh. But the laugh had sort of bounced in and had a sort of bounce in it. I hadn't been able to remember what the monster in my dream was, and I couldn't really tell what the monster I created with. Hank looked alike. But after seeing that dog, tears were streaming down my face by this point. Hank had been behind me the whole time. I turned and slid under my bed, trying to hide. Hank did the same. It was silent for about 5 minutes. There was no sign of the dog. I could see out the window from under my bed and saw nothing. I then looked at Hank under the bed, who was trying to suppress his crying. I pulled out my pocket knife and flipped it open, ready to try and use it. "Do you think it's gone?" I said to him. He just stared back at me. He shook his head no. Then, like thunder, I heard rapid paws going upstairs. I heard his heart stopping, maniacal laughter too. It was very loud and shaking my floor. "You could have stopped this, Andrew. You could have let me in," the dog screamed. It crashed in through the door and wood splintered flew everywhere. My dresser flipped over. The dog stood in the middle of the room and chuckled. I lay there only able to see its paws and lower legs. "You made me do this, Andrew. This was all you," it then screamed. And then I watched in horror as it bit into Hank's foot, dragging him out from under the bed. Hank let out this terrible scream and he reached out for me. I tried to grab his hand, but I couldn't move. I was stuck. The dog then put its paws on Hank and began digging into his chest as if he was digging a hole in the dirt. Hank was screaming and yelling, telling the dog to stop. Blood and skin was being thrown backwards, sticking onto the wall behind him. And the dog bit into Hank's throat and yanked back, pulling muscle free. Something vital was hit, and my face was splattered with blood at this point. Hank could make no noise. Blood was rocking out of Hank's neck and steadily gushing from the gaping hole in his chest. The dog then bit into him and pulled backwards, tearing his flesh from his bones and eating it. After what it seemed like hours, only a mere carcass was left. Blood and flesh was caked onto the walls, and the floor had soaked up all the blood it could. The room smelled of iron. The dog's head was also soaked in blood. The dog shook its body to try and dry off, flinging more blood onto the walls. The dog then sighed and trotted over to my bed and lay down to look at me. I want to start this off by saying this, man. I didn't want to do this to your brother. I actually had a brother, believe it or not. Listen, I don't have to kill anybody. I just want to exist in your world and not this damn hell. Well, your world is kind of hellish sometimes, but not as bad as this. I needed enough energy to be able to survive in your world. When you dreamed of me so long ago, I was created. And I wasn't going to do a damn thing to hurt you. You were so innocent. I never scared you on purpose, did I? Yet you just wrote me off due to my looks. When you decided to bring me into the world, you thought I was too scary or something ridiculous. And you sent me back here. This is not a life, Andrew. This never was, and it never will be. So either you let me live, or I pause for a minute. Or what? I sent back. Or I can wait for you to have a nightmare about me, and I'll tear you the hell open. So I can gain enough energy to, live in your world? I would have to tear you up worse than your brother, too, it said. I looked at Hank, who was lifeless on the ground. How the hell could you do this to me? I said. I was crying by this point. Look at me. I'm just a kid. Yeah, and how the hell could you do this to me? It said. It slowly started grin, revealing its brown and red teeth with brother's skin still caught between them. I thought, and then said, how do I get out of here? There are some monsters that thrive in our own heads. Everyone has that fear, but you can't kill them, no matter what. You just have to learn to live with your monsters and keep them in check. I miss Hank with every piece of my heart. I miss spending all day hanging out and just doing random things, I can't explain how much I miss you. Not a single day or hour even goes by without me thinking about him. Having a big brother is much more important than you could ever imagine. I long to go back to the days of making movies, songs, and drawings with him with all our friends. He will be missed for my whole life. If you can hear me, Hank, I love you. Sometimes life isn't fair, I hope it isn't too long before we can meet up again, bub. I love you. The dog isn't really around anymore, but without giving too much detail about the deal, it let me live, and I had to let it exist in our world. The end.
Guy's probably doing 20 alive.
Right?
And he's like, I swear what it means is this monster in my head.
Astral projection.
No, I got a story about astral projection. I astral projecting with some people. We're all in our own spots. I was actually laying flat across the couch. And and there were these like stone piles everywhere. But then there were these things, and I used to draw these things all the time. And it just hurt, and I was terrified, and like it hurt. So like I started trying to come back, but I couldn't. So like I was in like this panic state, but not really awake. And I don't know what caused this, but like by the time I got up, like everybody was gathered around me. And then when I got up, I went and looked in the mirror immediately because everybody was like, "Look at your face, Michael." And when I went and looked in the mirror, my eye, like, have you ever seen somebody where they like look like they're lifeless or something? Their eyes just like they're pale white, and their eyes have these huge bags. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I looked like that, and it was terrifying. That's real. That's real.
Okay. This one's one of my most favorite creepypastas, okay? It's called Autopilot. Have you ever forgotten your phone? When did you realize you'd forgotten it? I'm guessing you didn't just smack your forehead and exclaim, "Damn, apropos of nothing." The realization probably didn't dawn on you spontaneously. More likely, you reached for your phone, pawing open your pocket or handbag, and were momentarily confused by it not being there. Then you did a mental recap of the morning's events. Shit. In my case, my phone alarm woke me up as normal, but I realized the battery was lower than I expected. It was a new phone, and it had this annoying habit of leaving applications running that drained the battery overnight. So I put it on the charger while I showered instead of into my bag like normal. It was a momentary slip from the routine, but that was all it took. Once in the shower, my brain got back into the routine it follows every morning, and that was it. Forgotten. This wasn't just me being clumsy, as I later researched. This is recognized brain function. Your brain doesn't work just on one level. It works on many. Like when you're walking somewhere, you think about your destination and avoiding hazards. But you don't need to think about keeping your legs moving properly. If you did, the entire world would turn into one massive hilarious QWOP cosplay. I wasn't thinking about regulating my breathing. I was thinking whether I should grab a coffee on the drive to work. I wasn't thinking about moving my breakfast through my intestines. I was wondering whether I'd finish on time to pick up my daughter Emily from the nursery after work or get stuck with another late fee. This is the thing. There's a level of your brain that just deals with routine, so then the rest of the brain can think about other things. Think about it. Think about your last commute. What do you actually remember? Probably little, if anything. Most common journeys blur into one, and recalling any one in particular is scientifically proven to be difficult. Do something often enough and it becomes a routine. Keep doing it and it stops being processed by the thinking bit of the brain and gets regulated to a part of the brain dedicated to dealing with routine. Your brain keeps doing it without you thinking about it. Soon, you think your route to work as much as you do keeping your legs moving when you walk. Most people call it autopilot, but there's a danger. If you have a break in your routine, your ability to remember and account for the break is only as good as your ability to stop your brain going into a routine. My ability to remember my phone being on the counter is only as reliable as my ability to stop my brain entering morning routine mode, which was dictated with my phone is actually in my bag. But I didn't stop my brain entering routine mode. I got in the shower as normal. Routine started. Exception forgot. Autopilot engaged. My brain was back in the routine. I showered, I shaved, the radio forecasted amazing weather. I gave Emily her breakfast and loaded her into the car. She was so adorable that morning. She complained about the bad sun in the morning blinding her, saying it stopped her having a little sleep on the way to nursery. And left. That was the routine. It didn't matter that my phone was on the counter charging silently. My brain was in the routine, and in the routine my phone was in my bag. This is why I forgot my phone. Not clumsiness, not negligence. Nothing more, my brain entering routine mode and overriding the exception. Autopilot engaged. I left for work. It's sweltering hot day already. The bad sun had been burning since before my notoriously absent phone woke me. The steering wheel was burning hot to the touch when I sat down. I think I heard Emily shift over behind my driver's seat to get out of the glare. But I got to work, submitted the report, attended the morning meeting. It's not until I took a quick coffee break and reached for my phone that the illusion shattered. I did a mental re-step. I remember the dying battery. I remember putting it onto the charge. I remember leaving it there. My phone was on the counter. Autopilot disengaged. Again, there lies the danger. Until you have the moment you reach for your phone and shatter the illusion, the part of the brain that is still in the routine mode. It has no reason to question the facts of the routine. That's why it's routine. The act of repetition. It's not as if anyone could say, why didn't you remember your phone? Didn't it occur to you? How could you forget it? You must be negligent. This is to miss the point. My brain was telling me the routine was completed as normal, despite the fact that it wasn't. It wasn't that I forgot my phone. According to my brain, according to the routine, my phone was in my bag. Why would I think to question it? Why would I check? Why would I suddenly remember out of nowhere that my phone was on the counter? My brain was wired into the routine, and the routine was that my phone was in my bag. The day continued to bake. The morning haze gave way to relentless fever heat of the afternoon. Tarmac bubbled, the direct beam of the threat to the cracked pavement. People swapped coffees for iced smoothies, jackets discarded, sleeves rolled up, ties loosened, brows mopped. The park slowly filled with sunbathers and barbecues. Window frames threatened to warp. The thermometer continued to swell. Thank fuck the offices were air conditioned. But as ever, the furnace of the day gave way to a cooler evening. Another day, another dollar. Still cursing myself for forgetting my phone, I drove home. The day's heat baked the inside of the car, releasing a horrible smell from somewhere. When I arrived on the driveway, the stones crunching comfortingly under my tires, my wife greeted me at the door. Where's Emily? As if the phone wasn't bad enough. After everything, I left Emily at the fucking nursery after all. I immediately sped back to the nursery. I got to the door and started practicing my excuses, wondering vainly if I could charm my way out of the late fee. I saw a piece of paper stuck to the door. Due to vandalism overnight, please use side door today only. Overnight? What? The door was fine this morning. I froze. My knees shook. Vandals. A change in the routine. My phone was on the counter. I hadn't been here this morning. My phone was on the counter. I drew him past because I was drinking my coffee. I'd not dropped Emily off. My phone was on the counter. She moved her seat. I hadn't seen her in the mirror. My phone was on the counter. She'd fallen asleep on the bad sun. She didn't speak when I drove past her nursery. My phone was on the counter. She changed the routine. My phone was on the counter. She changed the routine. I'd forgotten to drop her off. My phone was on the counter. 9 hours. That car. That baking sun. No air. No water. No power. No help. That heat. The steering wheel too hot to touch. That smell. I walked to the car door, numb, shocked. I opened the door. My phone was on the counter, and my daughter was dead. Autopilot disengaged.
He left his daughter in his car?
Forgot to drop her off because he was so worried about his phone. That's why it's called autopilot. One thing messed up his routine, and it caused him to forget to drop his daughter off.
That's a negligent parent right there.
That wasn't too long ago. That actually happened here in Huntsville. On the arsenal. Guy forgot his kid in the car and killed him. Went to work and forgot the child was in the back seat. I just don't get how people forget their children in the car. I just don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like that's frustrating.
I've had Gabriel in the car with me so many times.
It's like when you have a kid, it like nerve wracks you to where you have to make sure that kid is okay.
Yeah, like when I
you're like
Gabriel,
it's like this person can die if I don't.
Yeah.
Do everything right.
If I turn wrong, they could snap their neck. Like, I am so, like, I'm like one of those people, I'm like, is somebody, too close to my back end? They could crush this kid, you know, like, I freak out too much.
Yeah, I understand, dude. Like, somebody be like that, that's not even creepypasta, that's a negligent parent story.
But that one's really good. Like, you don't really expect that to happen. Like, you're so into this person, they're talking about their phone, and then you're like, what? That one, that's why I like it, because it's like.
Oh, almost ran right off the side there. There's gotta be a boss around here somewhere. Are you kidding me? You kidding me?
Okay, this one's a good one too. We don't talk about sleep. I always wanted a little sister. I would beg my parents, please, please, and they'd roll their eyes and tell me that it wasn't as simple as I thought. They didn't stop me from telling about it every chance I got, though. When they brought Sarah home, it was the happiest day of my life. She was so cute. I couldn't wait to share my toys with her. I started going through them, deciding which ones were hers and which ones were mine. I borrowed my dad's label marker and started putting our names on each thing so we wouldn't get them confused. She cried a lot at first. I asked my parents why she cried so much, and they told me it was natural. They said once she got used to us in our house, she'd calm down and not cry all the time. Sometimes, though, she'd cry so loud that Daddy would have to take her to the basement where it was soundproof so the neighbors wouldn't complain. She slept in Mommy and Daddy's bed for the first month. Sometimes I tried to join them, but they would always lock the door. Mommy said their bed wasn't big enough for all of us to sleep in. I was patient. I knew the new bed with bars that set up in my room would eventually be hers. When they felt it was safe to let her sleep on her own, they started putting her in it. She wasn't crying so much anymore by then. I would lie in my bed and watch her sleep from across the room. They'd take her into the bedroom first and lay with her until she fell asleep, then move her to our room. Some nights after she was moved, I'd see her lying there with her eyes open just staring at the ceiling. So I'd go over and give her toys through the bars, and a lot of the time she would just throw the toys and then start crying. I had to hide under my covers before Daddy came in to deal with her. Eventually, they started letting Sarah sit with me in the bedroom, or in the playroom. I was told that I wasn't allowed to give her anything too small or sharp that she could hurt herself. I was so happy. I would sit behind her and brush her hair and tell her she was the best little sister in the world. I showed her which toys were hers and which were mine, but she didn't seem to care. Sometimes we'd sit on the window seat and she'd bang on the window while I drew on it with special crayons. School started back up at Sugar Creek Elementary, and I went because Sarah had to stay home. Mommy said she wasn't ready for school yet. I'd come home and tell Sarah all the stuff I'd learned. I drew pictures of us playing together. When I showed them to Daddy, he'd tell me thank you and take them to keep in his office. Then came the really bad day. I never forget it. I came home from school, and Mommy was just sitting at the table smoking. She looked real sad. I went to play with Sarah, but couldn't find her. When I went to ask Mommy where she was, she started crying. I asked her what was wrong, and she said that Sarah was gone. I didn't understand totally, but I started crying too and told her, we need to find her. She just shook her head and said she was gone, somewhere we couldn't go. Daddy took her bed apart. He threw away all my drawings with her in them. He took my name tags off all the toys. Sometimes I'd find one, he'd missed it, and made me cry. I started collecting them and hiding them, but he found where I hid them one day by accident and got really mad. We weren't allowed to talk about her. It was like she never existed. I didn't think it was fair. I told Mom that Daddy was mean to me to make us not talk about Sarah, but she said it was better that way and I should understand when I was older. I saw Sarah again. It was just one time, but I'll never forget it. I was with Mommy doing some errands when we were grocery shopping. Then we went to the fabric store in Thornton so Mommy could look at my material to make some new curtains out of. She remembered that she had letters to mail, so we stopped at the post office to buy some stamps. I was humming to myself and reading posters while Mommy talked to the lady behind the counter, and that's when I saw Sarah. She was as cute as I remembered. I walked over and I looked at the poster with her picture, but they had gotten her name wrong. Somebody had written her name down as Shannon. I rushed over to Mommy and tugged on her sleeve and told her that Sarah was up on the wall with the other pictures of children. She got all flustered and apologized to the lady before dragging me out of the post office. I had to shout because she kept trying to talk over me instead of listening. I saw Sarah. They got her picture on the wall in there. Finally, Mommy slapped me and told me it wasn't Sarah and that it may have looked like Sarah, but I was mistaken. If I didn't stop, I'd get in real trouble with Daddy when I got home. I cried and promised to be good, but even after I promised, I wasn't allowed to have the dinner and had to sit in my room that night. I heard Mommy and Daddy talking in the kitchen, and they got kind of loud. Somebody started banging open the kitchen drawers, and then Daddy's feet stomped up the stairs, but I heard Mommy scream, "Don't you dare!" and stopped outside my room, then went back downstairs. We never went back to the post office, and I never saw Sarah again. This is the first time I've ever talked about Sarah since that day.
So his parents stole a kid.
Which also makes you believe that he was stolen too.
Oh. That makes sense.
I mean, that's what it makes me lead to believe too, that there's a possibility he was stolen as well. This one was actually pretty good. Like, it's creepy, but at the same time, it's like, whoa.
Where's this one lost?
I like this one. This one isn't, like, horrible or anything. When I was 12, I came to the conclusion that everyone in the world, including my family, was against me. I was never a problem child, but my parents sure treated me like one. For example, I used to need to be home by 5 p.m. every day. This clearly restricted my amount of playtime at the house. I wasn't allowed to have friends over to play at the house, nor was I allowed to go over to anyone else's. I had to finish homework directly after I came home from school, no matter how long it took. My parents refused to buy me video games, forced me to read books, and then write a book report on to prove I actually read it. Now, even though this rules listed above were quite frustrating to me as a child, they aren't what upset me most. What really hurt me was the lack of compassion on behalf of my parents. My mother was a bitter woman who always made me feel guilty of accidents or mistakes I've made. My father only knew one emotion: frustration. The only time he spoke to me was when he screamed at me for receiving poor test scores or beat me for misbehaving. But enough about them. Let's talk about my school psychologist. For his own privacy, we will call him Mr. Tanner, or Dr. Tanner. Like most junior high schools, a psychologist is always available on campus during school hours to assist any students in need of counseling, whether it is emotional, academic, social, behavioral, etc. To be honest, I have never seen any students talking with Dr. Tanner every day. I would walk past his office on my way to the cafeteria and peek through his door's little window. He would always be alone in there, working on some paperwork. I guess that most kids were too afraid to speak about their problems to an adult who practically a stranger. For this reason, it took me 3 weeks to muster enough courage to go into his office. March 2nd, 1993 was the day I decided to voice my troubles to Dr. Tanner. During lunch break, I stood in front of his office door and knocked. Through the window, I could see him raise his head, smile, and motion for me to come in. I did. He greeted me by introducing himself and asking for my name. Dr. Tanner was a very soft-spoken man who seemed to radiate kindness. In less than 30 minutes, I rambled to Dr. Tanner about how mean my parents were to me and how they didn't care about me at all. After a while, my voice began to quaver and I stopped speaking. The psychologist listened patiently to my whole spiel, arms folded and head nodding. I half expected him to begin talking about how everything I had just said was untrue and that my parents loved me dearly and blah, 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 but he didn't. Dr. Tanner leaned towards me with a grin on his face and said, "You know, I'm the best school psychologist in the world. I promise we will fix this." I rolled my eyes. "Okay, but how?" I asked. "I have my ways," he replied. "I'm a man of my word. I promise that within just 1 month, the relationship between you and your parents will change for the better. Forever." After a brief pause, he continued, "Although I do need you to make me a promise. You have to promise me that you'll come back to my office after school tomorrow and that you won't tell anyone that we had this conversation today. It'll be our little secret." I promised. The following day, I returned to Dr. Tanner after school. It was around 4 p.m. when I entered his office. After a warm welcome, he asked me to have a seat in front of his desk once again. Upon sitting down, I watched Dr. Tanner close the blinds of the door's tiny window. There he smiled. Now we have all the privacy we need. We began to talk about my likes and interests, my favorite subjects in school, my least favorite teachers, and the things of the like. About an hour into the conversation, Dr. Tanner offered me a soft drink. I gladly took the offer, considering my parents never allowed me to drink soda. Dr. Tanner reached over to his mini fridge and fidgeted around before setting down 2 open cans of soda on the desk. Afterwards, we continued to talk about what was going on in my life, but it wasn't long before I passed out from whatever drugs Dr. Tanner placed in my drink. It took me a minute or so to adjust my blurred vision upon waking, and when it did, I had no idea what to think. I was handcuffed to a bed and my mouth was sealed with duct tape. I immediately began to panic, squirming and tugging at the cuffs, but gave up soon after. My eyes widened in disbelief after looking around the room. There was a poster of superheroes pinned up along the walls and photographs of famous athletes on shelves. In the middle of the room was an old television and Super Nintendo, various game cartridges stacked alongside it. I didn't know what to think. Here I am in a room filled with items most kids would die to play with. I would have probably cried for joy hadn't I been handcuffed to a bed frame. My stomach sank once again as the door opened and Dr. Tanner walked inside. He sat down on the edge of the bed. Now listen, he said. Remember that I'm here to help you and I will never hurt you, okay? Dr. Tanner gently removed the tape from my mouth and then the cuffs from my hands. My first instinct was to begin crying, but something about Dr. Tanner made me feel safe. He smiled at me. You're going to be here for a while, he continued, and during this time, you're allowed to play with any toys in this room while I'm here at home. But when I leave the house, I'll need to cuff one of your hands back to the bed. You can still watch the television, but I want you only to watch the news channel when I'm away. I sat in silence, still trying to process the information he had given. So, Dr. Tanner yipped, slapping me on the knee. You go ahead and knock yourself out. I'll be back when it's time for dinner. He got up from the bed, walked across the room, and clicked the TV's power button before locking the door behind him. Several more minutes passed before I realized that Dr. Tanner wasn't joking. All that was left for me to do was boot up the Nintendo and play Mario until nightfall. At about 7 p.m., Dr. Tanner returned to the room carrying 2 plates of mashed potatoes and chicken strips. I finally gathered up the courage to ask him how long I'd be staying in the room. Well, about a month, he replied. Give or take a few weeks. I just have some work I need to do. The following morning, I woke to Dr. Tanner's hand patting my head. Hey, bud, you don't have to wake up right now if you don't want to, but I'm going to need to put this back on, he whispered, clamping the cold steel handcuff onto my wrist. I gazed up at him. He was wearing a collared shirt and slacks, a coat draped over his shoulder, and a suitcase at his side. He looked just how he always did when I saw him around school. Before leaving, he placed the TV remote next to me and told me to turn it on and watch the news. The first thing I saw upon turning it on was breaking news segment. An important-looking police officer stood at the podium surrounded by people with microphones. I happened to begin viewing halfway through the speech. A statewide Amber Alert has been issued as of this morning. We have several investigators working towards identifying potential abductors. But as of right now, there is not much evidence. Faculty members state that the boy had been last seen around 4 or 5 in the evening on... I began to feel nauseous as a photograph of me appeared with my yearbook picture from last year. Caption for the photograph displayed my name and age, my school, and my town. Above my picture were alternating titles. FBI began search for child and kidnapping suspect unknown and potential runaway. The live footage continued, and 2 figures I soon recognized as my mom and dad stepped on the podium. Both appeared to have reddened eyes. Tears streamed down my mother's face as she took hold of the microphone. I had never seen so much emotion come from my mother before. She wept live on television, stuttering on sentences such as, please return my baby back to me, and I'm so sorry, and please come home to us. When my father took the microphone, I nearly expected his attitude to be stone cold. But he, too, had tears in his eyes. He pleaded to the world to bring his son home safely and lastly begged for my forgiveness. I know I haven't been the best father, but gosh damn it, I do wish I had been now. Please bring back my boy. I turned the power off shortly after. My emotions were mixed, for I had never once seen my father cry. I felt miserable that my parents were being put through so much, but at the same time I felt relief. I know how much Mom and Dad loved me. Nearly 4 weeks have passed, and Dr. Tanner has been treating me with the utmost respect. He leaves me in the morning cuffed to the bed frame, but returns in the afternoon to eat lunch and dinner with me, talk and play games.
With the most respect, but I'm handcuffed.
Just keep listening. I never would have guessed how good Dr. Tanner was at Monopoly and Scrabble. But one morning when Dr. Tanner woke me up before heading off to work, I noticed a stern look on his face. I also realized that it was 3 hours earlier than when he usually wakes me up. You need to watch the news today. No exceptions. I want you to keep the television on all day and pay close attention to it, he stated grimly. I, of course, complied and watched him exit the room. About 2 hours later, a breaking news segment interrupted the toothpaste commercial I was watching. The title: Human Remains Found. 2 staunch-looking men in suits stood aside one another and began speaking. We are displeased to bring up such misfortune news this morning regarding our missing child case from earlier this month. One of the men bowed his head while on the one speaking shuffled through some papers. He continued. Remains of a body have been found in a garbage bag beneath a highway overpass. The body appears to be that of a child. Although not much of it is left, the body has been decapitated and much has been burned to ash and bone. The screen shifted over to a helicopter view of the freeway, dozens of police cars gathering near the bottom of a tall overpass. The man's voice could still be heard. Within the bag, the police found a junior high school identification card labeled as such. The screen showed the school ID card, and I was always kept in my backpack. The plastic was sort of melted away, but my photograph, the name, were intact. After 2 men dismissed themselves, the camera panned over to my parents. They were sitting among reporters. My mother's face held a painful grimace, and my father sulked his head down at his knees. I shut the television off. Dr. Tanner returned from home very late. He hurried into the room, unlocked my cuffs, and placed a bottle of fizzing water into my hand. He placed his hands into my shoulders and smiled. I promised you a promise. I made you a promise, didn't I? I nodded, tears squeezing their way out of my eyes. You need to make me a promise again, he whispered. He told me that I needed to drink all the water in the bottle. It would help me sleep. And that from here on, I am never to tell anyone that I ever met him. I promised. I told you I'm the best school psychologist in the world, didn't I? And he was right. I awoke later that night to find myself laying in the middle of a park, staring stars shining brightly against the night sky. I recognized the park. It wasn't too far from my school. A mile or so down the road, I saw my house. The lights were off inside, but I could make out my father sitting on the step leading to the front door. I hesitantly called out to him. He lifted his head slowly, but he saw it was me. He sprang to his feet, ran towards me, arms open, yelling my name. My mother erupted from the house behind him. Dr. Tanner was right. Things have changed with my family, and my parents smile more often and treat me lovingly. I could not ask for a more perfect ending. Every now and then I see Dr. Tanner on campus talking to and from his office. Rarely do we ever make eye contact, let alone speak to one another. But sometimes he'll shoot me a wink and smile. I always keep my promise to him and pretend I never met him, but there will always be one question forever floating in my mind. Who did Dr. Tanner decapitate and throw off the overpass? Happy ending for him, but not happy ending for that child.
Well, I mean, what if it wasn't anybody? What if it was a dead person?
Probably. I was thinking.
Who knows? Maybe he did. He's pretty crazy to do that anyways. Here, we're gonna teach your parents a lesson, okay? They're gonna love you.
I just don't see how he would have gotten away getting the child out of the school without those people seeing. You know what I mean? Because he drugged him inside the school.
I'm so confused right now on where this freaking boss is. I'm looking forever. Forever looking. Like, look. Here I am on the map. I'm right by it. You see the dot next to my green dot?
Yeah.
That means I'm right by it. And these things are usually...
Wait, do you need to be near an orange dot or do you need to be near a cream colored dot?
Cream.
Okay.
This one. In the bottom left.
Yeah, I know, I see. But I just saw there was an orange one at the very top.
So I think it's this way somehow.
Who's that person right there?
Not a boss.
Let's see, I think there's something that one I liked. Ooh, this one's a good one too. This one's creepy. Sometime during the night of August 16, 1952, the small town of Ashley, Kansas ceased to exist. At 3:28 a.m. on August 17, 1952, a magnitude 7.9 earthquake was measured by the United States Geological Survey. The earthquake itself was felt throughout the state and most of the Midwest. The epicenter was determined to be directly under Ashley, Kansas. When state law enforcement arrived at what should have been the outskirts of the farming community, they found a smoldering, burning fissure in the earth measuring 1,000 yards in length and approximately 500 yards in width. The depth of the fissure was never determined. After 12 days, a statewide and local search for the missing 679 residents of Ashley, Kansas was called off by the Kansas state government at 9:15 p.m. on August 29, 1952. All 679 residents were assumed to be dead. At 2:27 a.m. on August 30th, 1952, a magnitude 7.5 earthquake was measured by the United States Geological Survey. The epicenter was situated under what used to be the location of Ashley, Kansas. When law enforcement investigated at 5:32 a.m., they reported that the fissure on the earth had closed. In the 8 days leading up to the disappearance of the town and its 679 residents, a bizarre and unexplainable events were reported by dozens of residents in Ashley, Kansas, and law enforcement from the surrounding area. On the evening of August 8, 1952, at 7:13 p.m., a resident by the name of Gabriel Jonathan reported a strange sight in the sky above Ashley. The town itself had no official branch of law enforcement called into the police station of the neighboring town of Hayes. Gabriel reported what appeared to be a small black opening in the sky. Within the next 15 minutes, the Hayes police station became overwhelmed with dozens of phone calls, all reporting the same phenomenon. The phenomenon was never reported by any neighboring communities. A decision was made to send a trooper to Ashley to investigate the matter the following morning. At 7:54 a.m. the morning of August 9th, 1952, Hayes police officer Alan Mace radioed the Hayes police station. He reported that despite following this one road leading into Ashley, he had become lost. According to his report, the road continued along its normal path, but somehow ended up back in Hayes. Officer Mace went on to add that the road was never curved or bent at any direction. At 9:15 a.m., 7 of the town's 10 police cars were sent to investigate the situation, and all members of this team came to the same conclusion. The only road leading into Ashley stopped leading into Ashley, but instead led back to Hayes. Phone calls continued to pour into the Hayes police station, all reporting that the black opening in the sky continued to grow in size. All callers were advised to remain inside and to not travel outside unless absolutely necessary. At 8:17 p.m., Miss Elaine Cantor reported her neighbors, Mr. and Miss Milton, and their 2 children, Jeffrey and Brooke, missing. According to Miss Cantor's phone call, the Miltons attempted to leave town in their family car earlier in the evening. They never returned. Law enforcement officials from Hayes never reported the car or the individuals coming up the one-way road. At 7:38 a.m. on the morning of August 10, 1952, phone calls from Ashley into the Hayes police station reported that the town was in total darkness. The sun had never risen. At 10:15 a.m., at the request of Hayes law enforcement, a helicopter from Topeka, Kansas flew over the region in which Ashley, Kansas stood. The town was never observed from air. At 12:43 p.m. on the afternoon of August 11, 1952, Miss Phoebe Danielewski called into the Hayes police station. She reported that her daughter, Erica, had begun to have conversations with her father, who died 3 years prior in a drunk driving accident. To add to the concern, Miss Danielewski reported that Erica was attempting to go outside into the dark to join them. Over the course of the next 12 hours, a reported 329 phone calls were placed into the Hayes police station, all describing similar phenomena with the children of the town. The following mornings of August 12th, 1952, the situation became dire. During the middle of the night, all the 217 children in the town of Ashley, Kansas disappeared. A reported 421 phone calls were placed to the Hayes Police Department. Unable to be of any useful assistance, Hayes law enforcement instructed all callers to remain inside and to avoid any and all attempts at finding these missing children. At 5:19 p.m. on the evening of August 13, 1952, Ashley elderly man Scott Luntz reported a growing distant fire to the south. According to its description, the fire seemed to turn the distant black into bright red and orange that seemed to extend high into the sky. Throughout the rest of the day, calls continued in stating the fire, in addition to moving north, now seemed to come out of the black sky. No fire was ever witnessed by any of the neighboring communities or law enforcement officials. The reports continued until 12:09 a.m. on the morning of August 14, 1952. The last phone call placed by Mr. Benjamin Endicott reported that the fire in the sky had grown so intense that it began to appear as daytime over the town. The phone call ended abruptly. From the phone call placed by Benjamin Sherman Endicott. Benjamin? Just hold on. Wait. Benjamin? Yeah, I see something. It's to the south. It looks like... In phone call. The next phone call wouldn't be placed until the following evening. The following is the entire transcript of the final phone call to be received as the Hays Police Department out of town of Ashley, Kansas. It was placed at 9:46 p.m. on the evening of August 15, 1952, and the recorded phone call, the officer on the duty is the Officer Pete Welsh. The caller has been identified as Miss April Foster. Officer Welsh. Hays Police Department. Hello? Yes, hello. Officer Welsh. Ma'am, who am I speaking with? Foster. My name is April Foster. Please, sir, please help me. Officer Welsh. What is happening, ma'am? Foster. Last night they came back. Officer Welsh. Ma'am, I'm gonna need you to... Last night they came back. Officer Welsh. Ma'am, am I going to need you to calm down and speak clearly? What happened? Who came back? Foster. Everyone. Officer Welsh. Everyone? Foster. They all came in the fire. Officer Welsh. What do you mean everyone? Foster. My son. I saw my son last night. He was walking. He was walking down the street. He was burned. Jesus Christ, he was burned. Officer Welsh. Ma'am, Foster, he died last year. I raised him since he was a baby. It was just me and him. I told him to watch for cars when he rode his bike, but he never wanted to listen. Officer Welsh. Ma'am, what are you saying? Doesn't make any sense. You said everyone came back. Foster. Are you fucking listening to me? Everyone came back. Everyone who died or went missing, they're back, and they're looking for us. He said, Mommy, I'm okay now. See, I can walk again. Where are you, Mommy? I want to see you. Officer Welsh. Ma'am, where are you now? Are you safe? Foster. I'm hiding, just like everyone else. We saw them coming through the fields, and some people opened their doors for them. God, the screaming. I don't know what happened to them, but their houses caught fire and they caved in. I have my curtains drawn, and I'm hiding in the closet right now. And silence. Officer Welsh. Ma'am, is everything all right? Are you okay? Foster. Silence. Officer Welsh. Ma'am? Foster. Glass breaking. Oh my God. Officer Welsh. Ma'am? Foster. Something just came in. Officer Welsh. Ma'am, stay as quiet as you can. Don't make a sound. Foster. Muffled. Mommy? Mommy? Came inside. Officer Welsh. Stay absolutely still. Don't leave. Sound of muffled footsteps. Mommy, where are you hiding? Officer Welsh. Stay quiet. Foster. Sound of heavy footsteps. Laughter muffled. I found you, Mommy. Indiscernible screaming and noise. Ma'am? End of phone call. The following morning at 6:55 a.m., the law enforcement officials of the Hays Police Department arrived at the location of Ashley, Kansas. A smoldering, burning fissure in the earth was all that remained.
Found it. Thank God. I'm a little confused. Do I go to the top area now, or where am I at? See, like, do you think I go kill the red thing now? Up there?
That's what I'm thinking. I feel like that's like the big boss.
I can go try the tower door before we go there. This way would be alright.
I'm annoying how those things just keep appearing. You gotta fight them all the time.
Yeah, I'm so tired of fighting just those nothings. I'm like level 20 already. It's crap. Ridiculous. I'm ready to get like into the game. I need to make a video with all my footage, dude. I think my buddy Jesse wants me to start playing Clash of Clans again.
I'll do it.
I don't know, man. I haven't played Clash of Clans in so long. I really just want to sell my base. Tower entrance. Where is the tower entrance? Somewhere around here. Where am I at? I could try to go to where that orange thing is. That has to be a boss.
Look at this. Training and game development engineering job. We have an opening on my work.
What?
We have an opening for training and game development engineering job.
I wish I was qualified.
Same. Might be on one of my list of things to get one day. A degree in gaming. Just for
You
the
should
heck
tell
of it.
them that's what you aspire to be, and you like want to move up in the company of that one day. Ask them what's the best route.
Computer. That's what they would tell me. I would have to go to an art school to get the degree in video game design. Which would not be a bad thing at all. Once I got my massage therapy, I can do that on the side.
I ran that. God, I ran like wrong ways, man. Okay.
She was snoring.
I'm okay on the creepypastas for a minute.
Yeah, I'm trying to stop reading so I can sleep tonight, because after a while, I feel like when you put bad thoughts in your mind, it's not a good idea before you go to sleep. Because I want to actually sleep and not have nightmares. Because I have severe nightmares.
I need one of those little thingies so I can see where I'm at in relativity to that orange dot. I think there's one over this way.
You know how long it took me to get the cigarette smell out of this?
Why was there cigarettes?
My grandfather was a smoker. My nana's husband. Bad smoker. He had 5% blockage on both sides of his heart, but we believe he died of an aneurysm. But we never did an autopsy on him. But he was so bad at smoking that he would smoke outside. He never smoked inside, but he just smelled like it all the time, that everything smelled like it. And like I always slept on the couch he would sit on because my nana couldn't sleep on that. And she couldn't sleep in the bed because she had asthma attacks so bad, so she would sleep on the couch.
It's so hard to tell which way do you go. Like, when you go back that way? Like, do I go this way?
That's what it looks like.
So go back where I came from? But I came from the center. That's what's really confusing about it.
I don't see why it won't let you have your own little map instead of having to keep going to that little piece. Because when you're standing still, you have no
It's so stupid.
where your direction
It's
is.
annoying, and it's literally aggravating the crap out of me about this game because of that one little mechanic. That one little mechanic's driving me crazy.
Like,
Why?
you need to get better on that.
Why can you not have a little map? Alright.
Watch is gonna be like out of the way.
Yep. See what I tell you? That I came from that centerpiece. So annoying. Like direction in this game is ridiculously. Like, how does this make any sense? So I guess we're running up like this.
Possibly.
So where does that mean that the orange dot is?
I say take a. Let's take a right. See where that leads to, and see if you can find a map.
I know there's one boss already defeated over here, one of the marked ones. That might be the orange one. Maybe over this way.
What was that thing you just passed?
That's like you revive those, they're kind of like checkpoints. Maybe way up this path. Maybe this is it.
Possible. It would make sense. What is that? Oh, I thought I saw like a shadow.
Yeah, this is probably it right here. Yep.
Nil defederlek Bethlehem.
You still watching? Are you still watching We're both about to have to go to bed here soon. It's almost 10 o'clock.
Här on sin gallop.
I got meetings.
What? I gotta fight both of them. That's not fair. That old geezer was fast as lightning. What? Get on me.
Oh, she could flip him.
I should flip them all. Stupid. Third color. like I should have got the parry one. Block stun people, that would have been fun.
I would really smarter.
Like, I don't know, this agility thing gets a little difficult, like, moving around. Other stuff I need to do too on here.
Oh, I'll sleep through it. So.
That's fine. I gotta move both of them because half of the footage I need to upload is on the other one.
You'll be where the wire's connected, so. Where the internet's connected with the wire.
Alright, guys. I feel like these two aren't that hard. Dang it! They got me like
Spoke too soon.
they got me jammed up against the thing.
I would laugh if your character started doing out so hard.
Here, just kill me. Just kill me, guys. I want nothing to do with y'all. Just kill me. I wish I could use the mechanics and optimize that edge over there. Oh, you get me trapped.
You can like knock them out with like the ladders and stuff.
Oh.
What is this? Becky. Oh, I think Becky fell off. Oh. I'm getting real tired of you blocking.
I got like the little glitch there for a second.
Oh.
Becky, can I not block you if I'm not looking at you?
Probably not looking at
All this game is blocking. Block. I wish I did the block one.
I mean, this game's pretty good. This game's kind of boring.
It's real slow. Like, the only thing is, like, if you watch my PvP on, what's it called? Elder Scrolls, it's so fast paced. You know? I mean, it'd probably be pretty cool, like, I was running around with emo doing this crap.
Ooh, what's inside that?
I ain't got time to look at that. Jeez. Oh, I dodged her. Oh, no. Come on, girl.
I feel like they keep healing themselves.
They might.
Because every time I turn around, they look like they've barely been hit.
They're also bosses. They take forever to move. Wait, how did I fall next to her and end up on the other side?
I don't know what the logic of this game is.
Did anybody else just
Yeah, I
get
saw
that?
that glitch.
Becky! Look, I get it, you're hitting me now. Okay? What do you think about that, Becky?
Give me that Becky.
I'm running away from y'all. And then I'm gonna heal. And I'm gonna run some more. Get y'all nice and spread out. Yeah, what now,
Maybe
Becky?
take that flyboard and just knock her out.
I know, wouldn't that be nice? Come on, Becky. Come on, Becky.
Becky.
Don't
That's
come
not
on
how
that.
we go on first dates. Or even asking somebody out.
Becky! Supposed to at least buy me an appetizer first.
Becky, there's no time for the
The
no-no
appetizer.
square.
I'm a cheap date, okay?
No time for the no-no square. We gotta punch it. Oh my god, where'd she get that shit from?
Oh no, Becky.
She just pulled that, I think, out of her crotch or something.
It's not a shiv, that's a full-on sword.
Yeah, whatever. She pulled it out of her crotch or something. That came out of nowhere.
Becky looks like she likes anal. Did I beat them both?
I don't know. Where did he go?
Oh, don't tell me the one time I do good, he's glitched out. Huh. No wonder I've been having to deal with him. He's glitched.
Isn't that lovely? What if like a force of nature just started coming and beating you up and you couldn't figure out where he was at? Is he stuck underneath the thing or something? What is this sorcery?
No! I'm gonna break all your vibes so you show up. The pots are going down.
Timmy!
Are you kidding me? What am I supposed to do about this? I'm gonna have to like quit the game. Cause I can't just die. It's like, how can I commit suicide in this? I'm trapped.
Well, there is some rope.
See up here? Get down here!
Timmy!
Get down there! Jesus Christ.
Tell us how you really feel. You need to go potty? You just woke up from your sleep. Tell me why this light don't work.
It's not just been the bulb.
If you go potty. Go potty, hurry up. Go potty, hurry up.
I'll have to figure that out. I'm sorry, I didn't know.
No, go potty. Go. I don't like sitting out there in the dark. Go, come on. Let's go potty, come on.
Babe, I think I can get some little yachty braids.
Little yachty braids? Why?
Cause look like a member of the yacht club. That's so stupid! You know what? I think one problem is, look at the weight of the equipment I'm using. See how that's like that? I need to use lighter gear.
Well, can you stop streaming and I'll go to bed?
Give me a minute.
I think that fly is trying to get from your jacket.
He's like, man, I don't know how much longer to live.
I think I live over the age of 21. It's legal. Don't they die in 21 days?
They die in like less than a day.
No, remember we googled that. They live a long time. They live longer than we thought. Because remember I thought it was a week and you were like, I think it's a day. And then they end up living like a month or something. Okay. Yeah.
Dang, those are heavy. Yeah, that's one reason why I can't do it well.
28 days. Sorry about this.
Maybe that changes things. No! You and Becky are not allowed to both attack me at the same time. It's illegal, it's against the rules. We did not sign up for that. Stay back, Becky! Alfred, come here. Look at that. I'm moving on y'all. Hey, don't wipe your hands like that, like you're wiping your hands at me, man. It's not even fucking nice, dude. Like, let's make this a fair game. Like, I'm not doing my disco hands on you or nothing. Here, I will. Come on, what do you want? What do you want, Becky? What do you want? Bet you never seen these. Bet you never seen this. Come on, Becky. Alright, let's heal. And then walk around. I'm the king of this. King of these streets. I really want to fight him because he's lower in health right now. Yeah, knock Becky down. Come on, man. You're scared. Why you make Becky do all your work? You just glitch yourself out. Yeah, come on. You And Becky's gonna run right back here. Becky don't know. Oh man, now, yeah, kick Becky.
Can they kick each other?
Well, he just kicked her. I don't know if it did damage to her.
That would be helpful.
Ooh, Becky got a foot in the dome. Come on, Becky. I got my mechanic to fight him now. I'm running to each side. Come on, Becky. Yeah, I like using this lighter weight gear with this character. I should have, I kind of feel like I should have done the heavy gear though with the other character. That would have been pretty dope. I could just like blocked and attacked. Rather than having to do all this stupid crap. So I'm gonna heal Becky. While you're sitting there taking that wall, I'm healing. Yeah, come on. Woo! Woo! Disco Inferno! Come on, what you want? What you want, Becky? How did he turn with me, man? I dodged him. That is stupid. I said this could be like Tekken. I don't see Tekken graphics anymore. Oh, she pulled that sword out of her ass again. Oh, and he's got a dagger. He's holding his gangster lane. Come on, Becky. Nope. Get out of here. I don't play that. Becky, best tell your man to back up. Yes. I got Becky, and I'm at full health. And this dude's in trouble. Whoa, let me get some stamina. Y'all know what to do now that I got more mobility. I didn't know what I was doing with my gear. I was just going for highest cut and blunt damage. Oh, I think it was block. That's probably defense. It was armor. Ooh, what do you want? Ooh! Favorite move. Boom! Wow! Oh, I got the curved sword. Sweet. Yeah, I want to do sword. That's got more durability though. Oh no, swords just seem cool. Yeah, boy. Let's go more damage. I like this dude.
My eyes are like watering so bad.
Are you crying, babe?
Yep, I got so touched up when I go there.
See somebody touch you?
Yes, I got touched.
over here? Like, I beat these guys. I feel like more should be going on right here. Oh. I guess to come in from the other side. Because this is a healing thing. Alright. What's going on here? So now I can use the sword.
Okay, so can you stop this now?
Yeah, let me go through the door. I've been working really hard so I can be able to go through this door. Now I can finally go through the door. I just want to go through the door and I'll be there. Just go ahead, get ready for bed and get back there and
I'm
I'll be
ready
there.
for bed.
Okay, well I'll just run straight to the door. As long as I can find my way to the door. Jeez. Yep, here's the tower. I should be able to find my way to the door from here. It's in this area. It's gonna be like a glowy door. I think it's right over there. What? Get out my way. Get out my way. Pretty boy coming through. Me and my crew swagging in the room. Lays on me because I'm looking so sexy. Yellow diamonds and I'm straight flexing. There it is. Look at that. Ooh, I made it through the door. What is this? Very nice decorations. I don't know how they got these rocks to glow. They're very pretty. Look at this.
They're gold.
They're gold rocks. Wow, man, my colorblind is worse than I thought. They look just like.
That also has some blue in it.
Yeah, it does have some blue. I don't know how they get them to do that. My rocks don't do that. That's like some Breaking Bad rocks.
Some nice and blow flames up in this, see? Well.
Who are you? You got a cape? Give me your cape. I want a cape.
I wish I could show you.
I wish I could wear the cape. I don't wear the cape. Bam! You're so sexy to me.
It just sounded, I don't know.
It's just how you said it. It was like, I got a cape you can wear. I was like, what's that mean?
I don't know.
Are we call it? Are we role playing? Oh my god, dude! That dude just did some crazy stuff. Give me my sword. Nah!
Cape man always wins.
It's the power of the cape. I'm done, dude. It's done.